Hello everyone, I'm Andrew, Fort Bend County Law Librarian, and today for our Express class, we're going to talk about creating PowerPoint presentations. And so this version we're going to look at today is actually new for this class. Normally we talk about PowerPoint 2010 because that's what we have on the majority of our computers here at the Law Library. Now, we are going to be upgrading to one of the newer versions. I believe it's 2019. But for today, we're going to talk about PowerPoint 2016, which is one of the versions we have on our computers. And while I haven't taught this class before, it is very similar to what I have taught before. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this without too much problems. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here. And this is going to be kind of a live presentation, so to speak, of how to use PowerPoint. My goal here is to just kind of get you orientated on the main screen, how to add text, how to add new slides, how to, create transitions, add a design, maybe some animations. We'll talk about some of the different slideshow options, things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. When you open PowerPoint, this is going to be your main screen. This is what you're going to be seeing when you start. First thing you need to know is you want to look at all the different tabs up here at the top. Hopefully you can see my mouse up here. These are all the different tabs where you're going to be doing all your actions. So this is where you're going to be, changing your different font, adding new slides. Here in the Insert tab, this is where you're going to be inserting all your pictures, different shapes, smart art. Maybe you want to add a chart to your presentation or a table. This is where you're going to be doing all that. You've got your Design tab here. This is where you're going to be changing your background, changing your color scheme, things like that, so that everything matches up and it has a eye-catching design. Transitions, this is where you're going to be, when you change slides going from one to the other. This is where they'll do different things and make kind of a cool transition between them. That's kind of eye-catching. Finally, you've got animations. Maybe you've got a picture you want to kind of fly in. Maybe you've got a chart you want to fly in. Maybe some text to come kind of spinning into the document. This is where you're going to do all that. Slideshow tab, this is where you start your slideshow view to where that, everybody sees it, not in the editing mode like I have it right now, but in the regular presentation mode. This is also where you can rehearse timings. So let's say you want your presentation to just kind of go on its own, and you can plan accordingly with your outline, with all the things that you need to say. This is also where you can record narration. Maybe you want to make it a canned presentation and you want it to be posted online. This is where you can record narration for that slideshow so that you can post it online. Okay. So those are the tabs. That's where you're going to do all your actions. The one last tab is the File tab, and this is where you're going to be saving and printing all those different options, which I'll talk about here in a little bit, but that is under your File tab up here in the top left corner. You can also hit the little diskette up here when you're ready to save, and I do recommend saving as often as possible. You never know when the power is going to go out. You never know when you accidentally exit the program, things like that. So you want to make sure that your presentation is up to date. Okay, your add and redo are up here. They're grayed out right now, but if I were to type something like PowerPoint, now you see they're activated. And if I hit the undo, they disappear. If I hit the redo, it comes back. Okay. Down here in the bottom right, you have your shortcuts down here. You can increase the zoom here if you want. You can start your slideshow. I'll just click on that. There you go. slideshow is started, escape from that. You can click the reading view if you want to see what that looks like. You can hit the slide sorter, so if I had a whole bunch of slides here, you'd be able to see them all at once, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about adding slides, okay? So as you see here, I went ahead and typed in PowerPoint. So I'm done with this slide. Let's just say I'm done, okay? So now I can do a couple different things. One, I can hit the icon here for new slide. So now I've got a second slide here which defaults to the content slide. So now that I can start for, you know, I can start my objectives slide here, and then I can add, you know, if I want to add a whole bunch of bullet points here, introducing PowerPoint, I can do that. Introducing, sorry, misspelled. There you go. Now we've got our first objective here. The other things I can do from this point, from this slide, I can also add, you know, here, insert a table, insert a chart, insert a picture. So maybe I don't want to have text. I can have some sort of image. I can do that. I can also come up here on the home tab and change my layout. So maybe I really just want a section here, header instead of a content slide. I can do that. I can also hit reset here and it'll change it back. Maybe not. I guess when I change layout, it doesn't do that. Let's see here. Okay, I see what it does. It just resets your tab here from going back to content. Okay. You can add section breaks if you'd like. You can do all that. This is also where you're going to be changing your font settings, changing your type of font, changing the size, bold, italic. Hit the little down arrow here. You can change, you know, add strike through, underline, you know, capitalize certain things, text color. You can do all that from here, all your alignment stuff here as well. Okay, so that's all you do here on the design tab. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add another slide. If you hit this little down arrow, it treats it like the layout options here. So I really just want to add another content slide here, so I just did that. So like I said earlier, you can insert things this way at the beginning of a content slide. As you can see, if I add something, you know, introducing PowerPoint again, those options go away. So, but that doesn't mean you can't insert things into this document, insert other types of content. So if you go to the insert tab now, you can add pictures. I'm just going to add a picture. Let's see, what do we got? Well, nothing in there. Let's see, pictures, camera. I probably don't have any pictures on here. But anyway, if there was a picture, I could double click on it or hit insert and it would insert it into the document. I'm just going to add, where is it here? That's I can add online pictures. They used to have clip art. It seems they don't have that anymore. That's okay, but let's say I want to just add a gavel. I'm searching Bing because that's a Microsoft product. Let's see if it comes up with anything here. Now, when you search Bing, it's going to do common, you know, documents here, so that these are ones that you can use. They're free of copyright. Now, if you can unselect it, of course, and I believe it would. I'm just going to insert document, just see what it looks. There you go. There's a gavel. Okay. So now I've inserted a picture. Again, from the insert tab, you can also insert charts if you want. You know, you can fill in all the different categories here. I'm just going to insert one here. And then it opens the Excel spreadsheet. So you can change the inputs here. You know, maybe I want, you know, I don't know. Let's put in here. Let's just put, let's put, anyway, I'm not very good at coming up with things on the spot. But anyway, here we go. So you could change those to whatever you'd like it to be. Okay. Close out of that. All right, let's go to our design tab. Let's talk about that here for a minute. This is where you change your background, of course. And if you hover with your mouse over this, it'll give you a preview of what it's going to look like. You know, purple background. We got a kind of fun design there, different colors. So you can pick what goes with your document. If you hit this down arrow, it'll change again. There you go. I kind of like that one, so I'm going to change that. It's going to change all your slides as a default, so be aware of that when you change your design. You can also format the background. Maybe you want a different gradient fill, you know, texture in there, maybe a pattern. You can change the pattern there, you know, and that'd be kind of going, then hit apply to all, and it'll do it for all your slides. Okay. All right. So let's go to transitions. So this is, again, transitioning from one slide to the other. Maybe I really like push. So again, if you move your mouse over it, it will kind of give you a example of what it looks like. You can also click on it. You can change the duration. So there is a default duration between each slides, but you can make it higher or lower. I want to make it 5.5 seconds. I'm going to apply that to all. You can change it to where it will advance slide on a mouse click. You can, again, do it, you know, after a certain amount of time. So you can do that. Just to show you kind of what it looks like, let's hit our slideshow option here. There you go. Kind of fades in. I'm going to click. And again, that moves to our next slide, objectives. And there you go. There's our chart and our gavel. Okay. So that's kind of how transitions work. Let's talk a little bit about animations as well. So as you can see here, I've got a couple different things going on here. I've got my text, I've got my chart, and I've got my image back here. Well, let's say I want this chart to kind of fly in. Okay, there you go. I'm going to make it a little bit slower. There you go. See how that kind of comes in? Now we could also get it to float in. We could get it to split. We could get it to grow and turn. All right, so let's look at the slideshow again. All right, now we've got, here it is. Now it's going to fly in. There it is. See? Now you could say you can make these kind of be pretty cool and animated and make them really eye-catching for people. Okay, so let's go to slideshow. This is where, of course, you do all your different slideshow options. You can do it from beginning, from a current slide. Again, record narration from here. That's where you do all these things. I'm not going to do that for you in this presentation, but that's where you can do that. Review tab, again. This tab has your spelling, your thesaurus. You can translate it if you need to. I think some of these that they do cost money, so we don't have that as part of our subscription. You know, language check. You can add comments for you for when you're working on it, for you know to access later, things like that. Here's your view tab. So all the different views. Normal, we got our outline view, as you can see that it has our text over here at the right. Our slide sorter, I talked a little bit about earlier, to show you all your slides at the same time. Notes page, if I wanted to add some notes in here to refer to later, maybe when I'm doing the presentation, maybe just, you know, information of like where I'm at on this slide and what I plan on doing next. Maybe you got multiple people working on the same document, you can add something in there so the next person working on it can have access to it. Okay, so last part, of course, again, you want to save these documents. I always recommend doing save as first. You know, you can choose where you want to save it. Maybe it's a flash drive, maybe it's on your computer. I'm just going to hit this PC. I'm just going to save it to the desktop. There you go. It's going to save as a default, just a regular PowerPoint presentation. then you can kind of save it whatever you'd like and hit save. Okay. Next part, printing. This is where you can print, maybe you want to print, the outline page for when you're doing your presentation. Maybe you just want to print all the slides together so you can look at them. Maybe you just prefer it, on paper. You can do all that from here. Here's all your settings. So you can print current slide, you can print a range, full page slides. Maybe you want 2 slides on each page. Maybe you're doing 3 slides for handouts, for all the people that are there for your presentation. And as you can see here, you can print multiple slides on one page. Collated, uncollated, you can do it in grayscale, whatever you need to do. Okay, that is just a simple introduction to PowerPoint, and we'll see you next time.